Hello. So normally I do videos on burning mouth syndrome, the causes, the things that help, and all that stuff, just in general. And I know that there are so many different causes for burning mouth, and everyone's looking for their root cause. And I try and do my best to address all of them. But for this video, this is specific to my case. Um, you can check the past videos if you want for all the things that I have tried and all the rabbit holes I've been down. But this has been by far the most promising rabbit hole for me. And I just wanted to kind of give a status update as to where I am with that. So this video is specific to dysbiosis as a cause of burning mouth syndrome. So for me, I'm not going to get too much into my backstory, but I had a lot of gut issues and I've had so many comprehensive microbiome tests. And so let's just start from the beginning. So the first one I had was a GI map in 2021. And let's see if I can pull that up, if it'll still record. Yeah. Okay. So that test showed in the opportunistic bacteria, it showed the only high one. And this was actually before my burning mouth began, but it was when I was having really bad digestive issues and I was having vomiting and diarrhea and nausea and I couldn't eat. And I had really low, what do they call it? Normal bacteria flora. So 6 categories were low for lactobacillus, Clostridia, Enterobacter, Enterococcus, Bacteroidetes, and Firmicutes. I'm terrible at these names, but they were all low. And then the streptococcus was just barely high. So that's kind of telling. And then the second GI map I had was after my burning mouth syndrome. And in that one, I still have several low normal bacteria. I think it's actually 4 low instead of 6, but then all of a sudden the streptococcus pretty much, it went a lot higher. And then in 2024, I did a Rupa Health lab test. The streptococcus came up on that one as a commensal imbalanced flora is what they called that one. And that one was Streptococcus aeruginosus, which I think is definitely a bad one. You don't want that one. And it was not, interestingly enough, put under the dysbiotic flora, but it was put under imbalanced. So, and I think that makes sense because in January of 2024, I did what's called a biome test. And that one started out actually as just, it was blood, spit, and stool. And I think that their main goal was to try and just give you a bigger picture of what your microbiome was like in your mouth and your gut, and to recommend foods that could help you with hair health issues. But since then, they have really expanded their app and just given a lot more information. And so they actually were able to list my entire microbiome in terms of the bacteria that were in there. And so there were 26 strains of Streptococcus or something like that. And of the, let's see, the Bifidobacterium, which is a really keystone strain, they only found Bifido B. breve and B. longum. And then there's an interesting one I've never seen, B. pseudococcinelle, blah, blah, blah. But so there was only longum and breve in there. And so that's only 3 Bifidobacteria compared to 26 Streptococcus strains. And for the lactobacillus, I think there's only 2. Yeah, there's only 2 lactobacillus in there. So it's primarily strep. It's very heavily streptococcus in my gut, which is very eye-opening. So I did meet with another gut specialist. She's not a GI doctor. She's, one of the functional medicine doctors, but she specializes in gut health. And she recommended this new test called Biome FX, which I've talked about in a past video. She said that it was far more accurate, more detailed. It's going to give a better picture and a more accurate picture of what's going on in there. And surprise, surprise, there's a lot of strep in there. So it was very validating that that is an issue of mine. So that's something that kind of tells me I'm a little bit on the right track. It's like I always have this question in my head of like, okay, yeah, maybe you have some dysbiosis, but have you always had the dysbiosis? Is that the cause for the burning mouth? So, it does beg the question. It doesn't, just because it's there doesn't mean it's the cause, but it is a clue. So, this is a picture of the functional keystone species, and I'm going to try and put copies of this in the bottom part of the video if it'll let me. I'm not sure if it will yet or not, but if it will, I will put that there, and if not, then hopefully just be talking about it is enough. But here you can see functional keystone species, not detected, not detected, not detected, not detected, not detected, so on. It's just, they're basically all not detected. I mean, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the functional keystone species that are supposed to be the foundation of my gut health. Not there. Not low. Not there at all. So that's kind of like a little bit scary, honestly. Because I asked my gut girl, I was like, so if they're low, we can hopefully feed them and like grow them back like a seed in a garden, right? There's like, basically it's just like the weeds are overgrown right now, and like the good stuff is all being crowded out by the weeds. And in theory, you should be able to fertilize the good stuff and have it grow bigger and crowd out the weeds. So that's like the strategy. But in my mind, I'm thinking, well, you can water and fertilize a garden all you want, but if the seeds aren't there, then what do you do? So that's, she said, well, then basically you just take probiotics your whole life, I guess, and just alternate them. But hopefully we can grow them back. Me. Hopefully I can grow them back. But anyway, I just wanted to share with everybody the results of the Biome FX test. This does kind of also go in line with the friend that I had that had also a very dysbiotic GI map, and then after she started feeling better, her GI map was completely normal. So that is a little clue as well. And, with the improvement of her GI map also was the improvement of her mouth pain. So anyway, all that to say, where am I at today with my pain, and how am I doing, and what am I using to feel better? So yeah, the answer to that is I'm feeling so good. So good. Like below a 0.5. Like I don't even notice it. Like it's like I have my life back. I'm exercising. I have so much energy. I'm sleeping well. It's amazing how like the burning mouth is so bad in the depths of how bad it was, but at the same time, like so much other stuff was affected for me too. I was having when your gut's not producing like hormones for sleep and hormones that like GABA and serotonin, the things that make you feel happy and have energy and feel good in life, it just impacts your quality of life so much. So to feel like a complete 180, I honestly feel like I've come out of a coma. Like it's crazy. So fingers crossed that it's because of the stuff that I'm doing and not like, a placebo or something, because a video I haven't made yet is on mind body and how when you feel like you have the answer and you feel safe and you feel calm and your nervous system calms down because you're like, I figured it out, right? That in itself can have pain relieving effects. So I always have that in the back of my mind too. Like, is it actually what I'm doing, or is it that I feel calm and safe and like I've solved it and like I feel like I have my life back and those kinds of things? And it's probably a little bit of both. So what I am doing is, first of all, following. Yes, I met with my gut girl, but she basically validated what ChatGPT said. And what I did with ChatGPT is I uploaded my GI maps, my Rupa test, my microbiome test that lists my entire microbiome and all the bacteria in there. I uploaded the Biome FX test and I said, what do you think? And it was like, clearly you have a streptococcus overgrowth. And that's definitely causing your burning, So validating. But ChatGPT has been wrong in the past, so I don't like 100% be like, oh my gosh, this is it for sure. But what it did tell me was that, okay, if we want to create a strategy, because you definitely have a strep overgrowth. So like whether it's causing burning mouth or not, this is definitely going to help to improve your gut health. And I've definitely noticed a correlation between improved gut health and improved mouth pain. So like when my gut is burning, my mouth is really bad. When my gut feels good, my mouth feels better. So if we can get the gut feeling better, hopefully it will help make the mouth feel better. So normally with like candida or any kind of bad pathogenic stuff in your gut, you would try and eradicate it, right? But with people with sensitive guts and burning mouth, the things that you take that would eradicate it, like like oregano oil or like all those things that are really harsh, they just make it worse. So it's not going to work because it hurts. And I've tried that. So I think the last thing I tried that ChatGPT recommended to eradicate strep was lauricidin. And it's like a really concentrated coconut oil, and it has all like the little things in it. But I reacted really poorly to that. I reacted really poorly to immunoglobulin stuff that's supposed to, absorb like a sponge and sweep out all the bad stuff. So working with ChatGPT and knowing that I have a sensitive system and I can't just go in there and kill the strep. And you're probably wondering, why don't you just try antibiotics, right? Well, antibiotics is what's probably got me into this mess, first of all. And I did ask ChatGPT about antibiotics and why not just do that. And it said that usually with this kind of stuff, it will wipe out all your good bugs and it will wipe out some of the strep. But the roots are so deep that it will basically come back. It won't matter. So it's more about crowding it out with the good stuff versus trying to kill it. And interestingly enough, in my Biome FX, I noticed something. Let's see if I can find it real quick. It was about antibiotic resistance. Let's see, hang on. Of course, I can't find it because this is like such a long report, but it did say something about how it was really highly antibiotic resistant. Oh, that's frustrating that I can't find it right now, of course, when I'm looking for it. Resistome occurrence. Yeah, here it is. This section explores the presence and abundance of a panel of antibiotic-resistant genes in the gut microbiome and compares that to a healthy population. The resistome is the sum of antimicrobial resistance genes in your gut. High number of resistance functions in your gut will make pathogens less likely to be sensitive to antibiotics and may be an indication that virulent strains are flourishing. And I have a 9.15 out of 10 on that one. So I think that means, and maybe I'm reading it wrong. Hopefully I'm reading it wrong, but I think that means that antibiotics are not going to do anything for the strep. And I've also I did try that actually, as I was having like really severe recurring upper GI pain, and I got a CT scan and they said it was colitis, I think. And so I had to take Flagyl and Cipro together. And then it came back and I had to do it again. So that was a while ago. That was like a year and a half ago or something. And so that did not solve my burning mouth, is what my point is. So the antibiotics is not the solution. And in fact, I think it will make it worse, because if you do have the low, good bacteria, it's just going to wipe that all out. It's just going to take your good army and just... So all that to say, ChatGPT's idea, instead of trying to kill it, was to crowd it out with the good stuff. And there are many probiotics that are known to crowd out strep. And so I asked specifically which ones, what specific strains, what studies have there been done on the strains that crowd out strep. And this is what it told me. So I'm on a, regimen of probiotics so the first one I take in the morning is Align. And I'm going to probably switch to one called Dysbiosis after this. That's one my gut girl is recommending. It has the same strain in it, plus another one that she wants me to try. But it's really important that you can't just take any probiotic. The specific strain is really important. Like, this is not just Bifidobacterium longum. It's Bifidobacterium longum 35624. And there have been studies specifically on this one with this strain number that it crowds out strep. So, and actually, I think it's this one specifically. This one has like affected my mood. Like, it has made me feel so much happier. It's so weird how like all of those happy hormones are made in the gut. And so it makes a lot of sense. Like, you need the good stuff to make the hormones to feel good. So this is the first one I take in the morning. Align Probiotic 24/7 digestive support. You can get it on Amazon. The next thing that I have, so HU58 is one I've been taking. I stopped taking it for a while because I thought maybe I was getting used to it and I needed to like kind of take a break. So I stopped all probiotics before the Biome FX test. So I restarted the HU58 after I met with my gut girl, and she said there was some bacteria that they found in here, which is called, so this says additional observed families in your microbiome. And it says the family is streptococcaceae and streptococcaceae or whatever. But she says that those two specifically, and there's another one, Egerthelococcae. She said those two specifically flourish in the mouth and rectum because the pH is the same. So if that's in my stool, it's most likely in my mouth as well. So, and that would definitely cause burning, is what she said. So, what she had me do is I've been taking this, but I'm swallowing the capsule, and so it's getting down in my colon, but it's not necessarily affecting my mouth. So she said, open it up, put it in your mouth, move it around, swish it with some water, and then swallow it so it makes contact with the inside of your mouth. So that's what I've been doing. It doesn't really affect, maybe I'll have like a tiny little bit of sensitivity, but it's nothing. So I'll take that. Oh, and she said to make sure you take everything like 3 hours apart. So I just kind of take it randomly. Like I'll take this one and I wake up at 6 and let's do this at 9. And I'm not like exactly 3 hours. Like I'll do maybe like 2 or whatever because there's a lot of them. If I'm having any like loose stool or anything, which I haven't been, but this one is called Saccharomyces boulardii. This is another one that ChatGPT recommended that crowds out strep. And so I take this one. I kind of try and alternate them too. Like, I'll forget to take this one sometimes and then I'll take it, I'm trying not to be super crazy about it, but just like the ones I take for sure every day is the Align. And I'm trying to be more regular with the HU58. This is another one I'm taking every day when I remember it. It's called Biogia. I really should go back to this. Hang on a sec. This one's from Microbiome Labs, HU58. It's Bacillus subtilis HU58. Because remember I told you the strains are really important. So that's that one. I believe Saccharomyces boulardii is not as specific. There are multiple places you can get that. You can get it even at Whole Foods. This one has worked for me, so I just stick with it, but it's probably not anything super special. It's from the Functional Medicine Formulations. I think it's like the Ruscio Institute that I got this one from. Saccharomyces boulardii. Okay, and then, so this one, the Biogia, is L. reuteri. It says L. reuteri gastrus blend, but it has specific ones in there. L. reuteri ATCC PTA 6475, but the one I'm taking this for is L. reuteri DSM 17938, and that one is also known to crowd out strep. Recommended by ChatGPT, and also I had this before. I had read this in the book called Super Gut, where you can make his Super Gut yogurt. You make it out of this. So I just said, I don't feel like making the yogurt. I'm just going to take the probiotic. Okay, I take this every single night now. I was taking Dysbiosis, but ChatGPT said that I have too much lactic acid. So I need to try and not take as much lactobacillus and focus only on the bifidobacterium. So this is a bifido only blend. It's from Seeking Health, and it is it's called Probiota bifidobacterium, and it has 7 strains of specific bifido, and it's free of lactobacillus. So it has B. longum, it has B. lactis, B. infantis, B. bifidum, and B. breve. So I take this every single night right before I go to bed on an empty stomach, or it doesn't have to be on an empty stomach, but I just take it before I go to sleep. And I usually wake up feeling so good. I just started this one. This is another one ChatGPT recommended. That is Lactobacillus plantarum 299B. Very specific. This is Gero Formula's Ideal Bowel Support. So I've been taking that at night with this one, and I've kind of been doing it every other night so I don't overwhelm my system, just to get used to it. But so far so good. So that is what I've been taking in terms of my probiotics. And let's see, drinking lots of green tea, but I've been doing that for like years, so I don't think that's making any. Oh, the other one I forgot to do is I am doing that Postbiotic Plus butyrate powder by Silver Fern. I don't do it every day, but I do it every once in a while with this. So Postbiotic Plus butyrate powder from Silver Fern. The last thing I want to say is that, yeah, it's all well and good to be putting all these probiotics in there, but the main thing is that you really want to grow your own good garden, right? So how do you do that? Prebiotics. You need prebiotic fiber. And so the gentlest one that I have found, and I'm trying to do this and work up to more, but I'm doing this every day in the morning. And I might switch to night because I know one of the side effects of prebiotics is that it can cause some bloating. So maybe I'll just do a little bit in the morning and switch to a heavier dose at night in my tea. It's flavorless. This is called sun fiber. Its ingredient is guar fiber, sun fiber, guar fiber. It's very gentle. This is the thing that the friend that got pretty much 100% better, she would do this every single night with magnesium oxide powder in her hot water. She did it for like a year. And I think what happened without her really even knowing is that she just was feeding all her good bacterias and it was getting rid of her strep. So really, really useful. And you can also try acacia fiber. That one is also pretty gentle. I don't tolerate it as much. It makes my chest feel kind of itchy, but I guess that's normal. My gut girl told me to cook and cool potatoes and eat those because it's a resistant starch that also feeds the good bacteria. So I found those like little mini ones that are purple, red, gold, and so it's giving you the different variety. And I just cook those whole and put some salt and olive oil and then put them in the fridge, and then I'll just eat them like grapes the next day. She also told me that a way to build back your gut microbiome is diversity in your foods. So obviously processed foods are not good. It's like, duh, right? Everybody knows that. But it's better to have like a few blueberries here, a few raspberries, maybe a little piece of cucumber. Like just having like an assortment of stuff, because that's what the good bacteria eat. So if you can give them as much variety as you can, you're giving yourself a better chance to grow a better garden in your microbiome. So some final thoughts. There was a couple other things that popped up on my microbiome FX test that were of note. And one was that my histamine production was in the 99.97 percentile. So she says she's never ever seen a histamine score that high. Obviously, I got histamine issues, but I was drinking kombucha like every day, thinking that like the fermentation was going to help with the good bacterias. But apparently I was overloading my body with histamine that way. So careful, easy on the kombucha. It's so good though. And then the other thing that was really alarming to her, which sucks for me, is that hydrogen sulfide production, H2S, which I think is the third one on the Trio Smart test. So Trio Smart test for SIBO. Interesting. Yeah. So they test 3 of them, and hydrogen sulfide is one of the things. I took a Trio Smart test to test for SIBO a long time ago. It was in 2022. So I did have burning mouth when I took it. And at that point, my hydrogen sulfide production, it was like nothing. So that's definitely not causing my burning mouth, but it is sucky because she said it can like basically eat holes in your intestines, which is probably why I was having all that pain in my stomach. But it is 99.65 percentile for me, the hydrogen sulfide production. So I said, what do I do about that? Obviously with the histamine, I stopped drinking so much dang kombucha. And I'm trying not to have leftovers, and like, you know, you can do the low histamine diet, but like, I'm so over hardcore diets. Like, I just can't even tell you. So I'm just trying to be better with what I eat and not perfect. But for hydrogen sulfide production, I said, what can I do? And she said, basically just take prebiotics. It's all of the stuff in this report will get fixed if I just can grow back my good garden, right? If I can grow back the good bugs. So diversity in my food, taking the probiotics to sort of cultivate the environment for growth, feeding the good ones with prebiotics and through food and sun fiber, and not inflaming my gut with things like alcohol, coffee, and all that stuff. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully it's helpful and informative. I do want to say that one, I'm not a doctor. I do not necessarily recommend any of this for anybody. This is totally just for information for people out there with burning mouth syndrome who are like me, who are desperate for information and trying to figure it out. And I realize that this may not apply to some people with nerve damage or other causes of burning mouth syndrome, but it also is really important to remember that everything comes down to gut health, because when your gut is not performing and it's not producing those things and not absorbing B12 and all those other things, it can produce neurological stuff and like it all connects. So do yourself a favor and take care of your gut. Okay, so that's that. You're going to be okay. If you're deep in it and you just started with burning mouth syndrome and you're just like, oh, there is another side. You're going to get to the other side. Try and be patient with yourself. Try and trust that your body knows how to heal itself and knows how it's constantly working to get back to homeostasis and to get to a place of balance. And if you can just be patient and continue to continue to go down your journey one step at a time, you will get through it and you're going to be okay. I really thought in the depths of mine, which was 3+ years ago now, I was not going to be someone that was going to have a healing story. I thought, I'm going to be the one. I'm going to be the one who has it for 30 years and is miserable. And after a year or two, I was like, yep, that's me. This is it. This is my life now. Nope. Don't accept that. You're going to be just fine. Okay, keep going. You're going to figure it out.